recorded. Let's go ahead, set up the project. And come on. Taking a little slow here. So this is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna rig the camera arm here and then the camera pole. Now, I think the file that I give to you is missing this model, so you could download it from here. Extra camera, just right click, save link as, and put into your scene folder of your project directory. And we're gonna import that. And now my Maya doesn't want to work right now. Okay. Let me shut it down.
Yours are doing the exact same thing too.
Pardon?
Mine was doing the exact same thing too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe something, let me just end task and then reopen it again. See if coming back. Come on. Does it come in or not? Here we go. Still loading. Let me stop record. So now I'm gonna open my scene. Last one. Oh, I set up the wrong project. Too many things going on in this. On this 6, here we go. And okay, so I import this in. So basically what you need to do is, let me delete, here we go. So this is the original, right? So you just go to File menu, Import, and pick the camera top, import it. Now you will get this. Okay. So, and just a model. And if you look at on the outliner, because it may have this information, the camera top one, because the file name, I'm gonna remove it. You can just put main camera and hold on, this is what we can do. You can copy this name right here and then we're gonna replace it. Under camera, oh, hold on. These are main. Well, you can just leave it there, it's okay. I mean, sorry, I am picky. I don't like those names. Just get rid of the name. You don't have to do it, but if you want, please go ahead. It's make the name a little cleaner. Sometime when you set do not carry the preference name, it may not carry the name, but I never been successful on that when I try to not contain the information of the file name. Here we go. Okay, so let's do the easy one first, the one that we similar to this rig, which is that one. Here we go. So I'm gonna unreference the layer And the reason is because I don't remember what I name it. So just select one of this, copy that name. Here we go, the bar. Okay, we have one, and we're going to have 4 sets of this bar. So let's do side view. Side view. We're going to create a joint. So switch to rigging module. And do you guys have any problem with importing the model? Anybody need time? Okay. So, and under display, animation display, right here, if you look at on the joint sides, you might need to change your joint side display to 0.1 so that it's small enough. If it's too big, the display, okay, so I'm going to try to leave it 0.1 for a moment. And make sure you have a controller. You can rename this tab if you like. Skeleton, join, choose create join. Open up option. I'm going to reset the option quick. We want to turn off variable bones radius setting and orient join to the world just for this project, because it's make things a little less complex. And then I'm going to close that. So first join, second, and third, like this. Hit enter, press enter to finish. That's it. And on this joint, even though display is 0.1, it's still too big for me. So I'm going to change. You can select, hold shift, and you can select by, shift, select the joint. Here we go. 3 joints so that you can change the joint size quickly. I think 0.25 would be the best. Here we go. And we're going to have to name this. So let's change the name. We have the word joins, right? Join 1, 2, I think join 1, join 2. What we can do, we can go to modify and add prefix hierarchy. So just select the root, and then I'm going to name a cam slide bar underscore so that they put that to in front of the joins. And here we go. So now when you select each one of them, it has cam slide bar. Just something quick, you know. So, and if you like, let's try to, I'm going to call slide bar joins base join. Add a little bit. And this will be a middle join. Slide bar middle. So that it's easier for us later on, middle, to identify the joint name. And this will be the end joint, bar end joint. And I can remove the number. It's unnecessary to have a number, but can you see it's really nice, has a good name. And we could duplicate this. So edit, duplicate spatial, so that we can choose assign unique name to children node. So it add the number. This will be no number, and the next one will be number. So if I click duplicate, can you see it add 1? Now I can relocate the second one here. And when you look at on my model, I make a little mistake there, which is good so that you could fix it. It's just the location. So now rotate 180 degree. Mine's minus 180. Here we go. I'm still on side view. And while we are on here, let's fix this. So I want to move the center up. And how about really center it to this model right here. Okay. And I actually gonna move the joint up a little bit. Here we go. So now, because I rotate this, I need to change the angle. Here we go. So that is matched right there. And for this model, phase transformation, so that it's nice and clean after we modify them. So now you got another joint there. And we're gonna do again, duplicate. Make sure you use duplicate spatial. Make sure you turn this on, unique name, so that we don't have to rename it. And then move. So if I press 5, this is the location I wanted to move. Right on the center, right there. There we go. And then I'm gonna go to font view. Here we go. Because I need to move more right here. Oh, no. More right there. Oh, wait. I am on the right spot. I got confused. Because we create joint. Go to show, turn on join. Where's my join? Oh, hey guys. I did not really move them yet, these two. I forgot. So move it. So that is right on the font. Right here. Let me close that. Here we go. You see? Right here, center, just eyeballing it. So now this one, this is the right front view. I'm gonna rotate. So rotate a little bit so that you can see what volumes would be. This would be minus 90. Here we go. And on this model, I think because I didn't align them correctly, so I'm gonna have to move so that it's kind of on the center of it. Right here, the center. And on this side, on the middle one, you could just press D so that you can move pivot point of the joint. Because if I don't move pivot point, I'm gonna have to move this again. Can you see? Because when I move that go up, if I press D, I will change the pivot point instead. And if you notice it, the joints itself are the pivot node. Here we go. So, and then I'm gonna duplicate spatial again. Edit, duplicate spatial. You don't have to open the option if you're sure that this has checked. Here we go. And then I'm gonna move to this side. Rotate. This one will be minus 180 again. Oh no, not minus 180, oh, minus 270. Here we go. And because we rotate it, we need to phase transform on the joint. See right there? I rotate it. So I'm gonna go to modify phase transformation. It will phase the orientation and then change the volumes to 0. So now check to the other that has volumes on rotation. We need to phase it. Phase. There we go. Go check one by one, just to make sure that one has it. it's really important to phase transform. Okay. So next thing, we're going to add a IK handle. We're going to use single chains again. So let me pick, this is join number 1, because we're going to have to add the name. So this is the original one that I create, has no number on the back side. So go to skeleton, IK handle, create IK handle, open up option. I'm going to reset so that we can start it from beginning. Rotate plane solver, switch to single chains because we don't want any disk, because we don't want to animate twist. It's going to just go up and down. And we're going to turn on sticky. Try to get used to it, sticky, even though we don't really use it on this part of the rig, but turn it on. Sticky is going to pin to the initial location until you move it. So now click on the base join and then click and add end join. That's why we name end join. So now let's add IK handle. This is handle 1, so I'm going to just put IK and then the name in front of it, cam slide bar IK. So we have IK, and then I'm going to copy that name. Because we're going to rename the next one. And then go to create IK handle again, and it doesn't matter which one you select. There we go. Just name it. This will be, oh, you might need to check the name. This one is join 3, so the IK handle should be correspond to IK3. That's all you need for the name. So now the next one, let's do follow in the pattern. So this one join 1. So IK handle 1 and 2, and this we'll call IK1. The name is just correspond to whatever the join name is. So that's easy to, it's organized and easy to figure it out which one is which. So this one will be number 2. So click create join, or create IK handle. This one will be number 2. And I know it seems a lot of work to do the name, but it's really important name convention for a rigging. And even for the modeling and animation is even important. So now I have all 4. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to parent the object. Put each section of the object to be on appropriate join. Here we go. So like this object will be a child of the middle join. So now prepare to undo if you're going to grab IK handle. Here we go. So it look like this. Here we go. Don't freeze transform IK handle. And we are not going to animate this, actually. We're going to parent the IK handle to this object. Right? This object. Because this object will move up and down. And it's called arm extend mesh. Okay. So now let's make things a little easier. Let's organize. If you look at on my outliner, IK handle, can you see all 4 of this? Let's group them together. So it means these 4 IK will follow the group node, but then we will parent the group node to this mesh. You know, just to make things a little make it like a module cleaner. So Control G to group it. Turn on move tool so that you can see where the pivot point is. I want you to go to modify center pivot. Just that's it. It will center between those 4 selections. This is perfect. So now let's name this. So I'm going to call a cam slide bar IK group. Be a little more literal, and you can put GP. There we go. Once again, beside the name and the identifier or identification of the alphabet that we put, the icon also the identification of what type of object is. So this is a group node or the translate node. We're going to parent that IK group to this mesh. Just parent it to. Here we go. So now when we grab that mesh, we can push up. Can you see? Here we go. So at this point, just I'll give you 5 minutes to parent all of this. The arm extend, just parent appropriate surface to appropriate joint. And if you're not sure after you parent, just grab the extend bar mesh and move. See it follow. Here we go. So we're going to close that. Select. Use selection tool, Q shortcut. It will be easier to select object and to figure out what object you select, because there's no tripod to block your vision. And W key is move to, so I use shortcut a lot. Here we go. Okay. So it looked like this. And now I can zero it down. Okay. We are not going to really animate this object though. We're going to animate using controller. So I'm going to use this gear shape because it looks kind of nice. See? And let's align to the center of this tube. So select the gear object first and shift select that, the cam extend mesh. And then choose align to and align to center. And you might need to zoom in so that you can see the center align in the middle, right there. And I align only on X and Z. You don't need to align the Y because we're going to manually adjust. Scale it down. There we go. Just be right there. And doesn't matter how big you want. It's up to you. And I could just leave it right there because it's a when you know the location is anywhere that easy for you to select. That's what it is. So now I'm gonna call a cam arm extend control. Let's copy that name. CTL control. Freeze transformation. And if you have a history inside here, you got to delete them too. I don't have. Alt Shift D shortcut. Save your scene. Make sure save scene as. So that's something wrong on this. We can go back to the original, the previous scene. Here we go. So now you can select this extend bar. Shift select the extend control, press P. So basically, this will move that thing up. Here we go. Just like that. Okay. Now, we need to make this object go up with it too. However, we wanted to add extra control on this so that we can kind of rotate. I'm going to rotate only on y-axis. And up and down will be this control. So create another control. I'm going to, how about use this guy? Looks slightly different. And I'm going to align it to the center of this. You select the main mesh. Main mesh has a group, has a student in it. Modify, align, center, center, and oh, here we go. Got it. And then I'm gonna have to rotate this. It's minus 90 degrees. And I'm going to move it up just above it. There we go. And I think this is good. Freeze transform. And let's name the same camera, main camera control, CTL. Save your file just in case, might crash. There we go. And grab this guy, will be a child of this. Here we go. Okay. So now we got to make this go with this thing. Okay. So let's take a look. There's more object in there. When we move this up, we also want this guy to go up also. See right there. We want them to go up. But also, let me switch to 4. Just watch. I want it to be able to move up to extend. And then this small one will extend more. Can you see? Look like that. Oh, guys. I have 2 objects. Hold on. It should be only 1. So, and then these will go all the way like this. So extend it. This guy, I don't need that. If you have one deleted, this is how it looks. Just like that. For this object, it's just a decoration. We're gonna create animation that's spinning when we extend it. So it's kind of, just make it look pretty. And I'm gonna move this. So now you can move this down, move it back, just type 0 in. If you test like what I did. If you did not, that's fine. Here we go. And I accidentally rotate this. I gotta rotate this back. Here we go. So now, the next thing we need is when we push it up, I want the whole set to go with it. So we're gonna, this guy will follow this control. So select these, shift select that control, and press P. So now when it grabs this, see it go with it. Okay. Now, this section, 1, 2, and 3. Oh, no, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Should be another module. We can call this group as a top part of the cam extend. So what we can do though, we could group this together so that they kind of little separated. So Control G, and we're gonna call top. So cam I'm going to call cam pipe top group. How about cam pipe? Yeah, top group. That's fine. I was just because it has a main camera too. Let's call main cam pipe group. How about add main on it? Because we have a main control, right? So that main cam, yep. Because we have main cam control, so that is easier. And then main cam control will be a child of this guy, the main control here, the cam extend control. So I'm gonna just grab, if you collapse the group, middle mouse drag and drop into. So basically you select that group node and parent it to this guy. Now let's go back to the group node one more time. We need to put the pivot point closer to the base. So I'm gonna select this and then go to modify center pivot just to get started. Now, if you press 4, you will see the main, the arm extend, see the base? Let's move the group node base down to there. We just try to organize it, that's all, and look at on-site view. If it's not really on the center, move it right here. Be a little more picky on this. And then go to front view to see, switch to 4, so that it's really on the center of the bar. Okay. It was not on the center of the bar because of we have another module on that hierarchy. See right here, we have main camera. So now, when we grab these control, there we go, everything will go with it. Let's switch to 4 so that you can see. Can you see? It's go all the way up. There we go, like that. There we go. This is what we want. And then when we're gonna set different key to extend those bar one by one. Okay, so I'm gonna move it back down. Now we're gonna make this follow the main body. Right now it does not. Can you see? There we go. Does not. So this object will be a child of main control. You could also put it under the body group. Can you see that body? But we should separate them as a module. So I'm gonna create a new group node. Edit. You can select, how about just select this guy, add the group node on top. So Control G and change the pivot point, modify center pivot. There we go. And then you can press D, move it down so that it sits on the base. It's better. And then you're gonna go to display, transform display, enable selection handle so that we know that okay, this is going to be a main group node of that cam extend. So let's name appropriate. So this is called cam base. I'm going to call a cam extend all group. Cam extend all GP group, or GP is fine. Here we go. Save again. So this part, what we need is the main pipe basically the arm control extend need to be a child of that group. See that group. So it follow. Before we do that, let's put the joint, the base of each joint, will be a child of the cam external group. Press P, there we go. So now if I move the body, it will look like this. Might looks a little weird. Oh wait, hold on. It does. This part doesn't follow with the main body yet. So let's put this under main control to separate it. I mean, if we put it under the mesh body here, it might be too complicated. Can you see? Because if we need to change something, we really have to be inside that. So why don't we just put it under the main control? So we have two modules right now under main control, the body mesh and the cam extend. So when I grab this and I move, it should look like this. There we go. And the IK should look like that. So the next thing is we're going to put all of the arm control extend together inside the group all. We're going to make that follow that group. So middle mouse drag and drop into the extend all group. Here we go. So now when I grab this, it will follow. Here we go. It may look a little complicated, but if you think of in terms of the division of hierarchy, and now can you see it's more easy to organize. We have a module of the body mesh separate because body mesh is already really busy. If I shift expand, can you see that's a lot of hierarchy. Here we go. See, this is the first level hierarchy of the mesh, and then it has grandchildren also. So if we put the cam extend group under that, will be even harder to find it when we need to edit them. So let's separate as a module. So right now there are two modules under main control now. The next thing we're gonna start it to set different key to add all of those fancy animation, indirect animation. Basically, we want to be able to animate only on the arm extend control and the cam rotate here, the main camera group. Let's call main camera rotate, so that we know this is just for rotate only, nothing else. Rotate control. Okay, so now we're going to set different key. First, we need to figure it out how far we need to extend up and down here. So let's move it up so that we can limit. I think that's all I'm going to do right there. Here we go. So, because if you think of it, if there's a wire hydraulic or something like that, I think it's go up straight would be hard to bring it down back. Think about in terms of real machine. So it has to be a little bent like that. And this is 0.762. Your numbers might be different. Go to attribute editor. We're going to limit that information of translate. Click on the first tab of cam extend control. Limit information. Collapse the rotate. We focus on the translate. And the translate, I can see there's a volumes on the current volumes is on X on Y axis. Positive volumes will go to the right side maximum. So click add to the maximum. Now the maximum set 0.76. We need to enable it, so to lock. So this is mean I cannot go over than 0.76. Now, we don't want to go lower than 0, right? So because 0, if we zero it out, it's at the starting point. To do that, go back to the same spot, translate limit, you can click enable. Right now is -1. We're going to click assign the values on the current. You can type it in. Here we go. So now we limit, cannot go lower than 0, cannot go above 0.76. Here we go. And left and right, we can limit them to 0, all of them, 0, 0, 0, 0, which normally in this case, you don't have to do limit on there. We can lock and hide on the outside here. And we already parented too. This has been a child of some other things already, so we can actually limit this. I highlight all the label and control click to deselect, lock and hide. Now, when you do lock and hide, you have to think of this. If you have not parented to anything else yet, you may not lock and hide yet. You can lock them temporarily. The reason is because if the attribute lock when you parented to something, Maya might say no, because it has been locked, cannot do it. Sometimes it does, but when it does, what it will do is it pops somewhere else because that has been locked. And if the parent has some other volumes and has some constraint, it will force that to snap somewhere. So you might get confused, like why does it go? So just remember, if it's not under something yet and plan it to be parent, do not lock them yet. Okay, right now it's safe. And same as here, we can also lock and hide some volumes too, because it's already a child of the main, the whole thing, because this is a child of something else, and something else is a child of the main. So we already know that this section will be rotate only, no translate, no nothing else. So hold on, let's lock this later because I think we should change some volumes here. Yeah. Right, here we go. So let's do a little more. This cam extend control right here is under that guy, right? Okay. And we have a base mesh, and then we have this extend mesh. Here we go, extend mesh. Now extend mesh, we wanted to be able to push extend mesh, and then the cam bar base, oh no, this guy need to follow that extend mesh. I forgot about that. So let's put extend mesh down, that one, put it down, 0, and put the main pipe here, group, under extend mesh. Here we go. So that when we grab this and move the these module follow the cam pipe, follow. Okay. So now under the cam pipe group, right here we have cam pipe group. We want the cam pipe group, the cam pipe group is already follow, but we want a pipe mesh. Which one is a small one? Hold on, let me look. Oh, this one. So mesh number 1, okay. Now the mesh number 1, we want mesh number 2 to follow mesh number 1. So select mesh number 2, middle mouse drag and drop to mesh number 1, the pipe. So now if I grab the pipe 1 here, when I move it up, see the mesh number 2 follow, and then I can move the number 2 later. So we're gonna undo, here we go. So now the mesh number 2, we want this main to follow mesh number 2. So expand mesh 1, mesh 2, and main camera rotate under mesh number 2 and extend. So now we nesting hierarchy. And the reason that I make you to put everything inside main pipe group is just to contain it. So now let's test manually moving. Grab the mesh number 1 first, move it up. Grab mesh number 2, the pipe, and move it up. And that's it. So now we can extend like this. Okay. Once again, these we are not animate moving. Okay. So now we can lock and hide this control, because the reason that we don't lock and hide because we still try to organize the hierarchy. So now I'm gonna select all of these, control to subtract, oops, sorry, rotate Y, not translate. Right click, lock and hide. Here we go. So that we know that these animate only, this control is only animate to the rotation. The rotation will be animate only. Okay. So now select mesh number 2 and put it down to 0. Mesh number 1, put it down. And then now we're gonna set dividend key. And then grab these control, translate, put it down. So now we're ready. Let's test again. You can rotate, see if it follow. You can move. That's good. And no double transformation. Save your file. Now deselect everything and open up, switch up to animation module, key, set dividend key, and set. So that's nice and clean. First thing we need to select the cam extend control, load to the driver. And that's it. That will be driving a bunch of animation. First thing I will add, I wanted to animate this rotation, spinning. So I'm gonna add that to, oh, sorry, the arm extend to the driver, not the driven. And then this object, the cam base mesh to the driven. Okay, and I'm gonna add more on the driven. So I'm gonna select cam pipe 1, okay, and cam pipe 2, and then load driven. So you have 3 objects will be driven by one single control. So now, when I select each mesh, you're gonna have to remember what translate you're gonna be animated. So the base mesh will be rotate, not translate. The mesh, the pipe mesh 1 will be translate up and down, like that. Here we go. Translate 2 will be the same. That's it. Okay. So if I highlight translate Y on cam extend, and then I can select one by one here, the base will be rotate Y. Here we go. Let's do one at a time. Set key. Here we go. So now click on cam extend, slide it up until it stops. There we go. And then activate the selection on the outliner of the set driven key. Try to use this set driven key. When I select, make sure rotate Y still selected. Can you see it's turned some kind of crayon color. It's indicated has a driven key in it. So now when it's go up, I basically just want 360-degree rotation. I press enter, set the key. Now grab the slider and slide. Can you see the rotate slide? So basically it reverts from 360 to 0 to the end. Now, when we set driven key, by default, animation curve is set to auto. Well, we should use linear. Otherwise, you're going to get easing in and easing out. See, if I grab that, see, it's slower to stop. I want evenly, because if you wanted to animate easing in and easing out, you set key on translate Y of the main control here. So go to open up the window animation editor and graph editor. So on the graph editor, if you select mesh here, you have to use outliner on the set driven key, base mesh. You will see the rotation of Y. Select that curve and then click linear here, so that there's no easing out and easing in, like no slow in and slow out. And while you set driven key, there's two ways. You can keep this window on, or you can temporarily change this to linear on both in and out, so that you don't have to come here and try to fix the graph editor. So let's do that. Once again, from here, animation, change default tangents in and out to linear, and save. So from now on, there will be no easing. It just linearly distribute the spacing evenly. Okay, so the next thing we done with this, so let's do pipe 1. Pipe 1 first. Translate on the main control, set to 0. Pipe 1, pipe 1, cam pipe, mesh 1, translate Y, need to be set to 0. Now set the first key. We are working on pipe. Now grab, select the extend arm, cam extend control, and slide it up until it stops. Now, using outliner of set driven key, select pipe 1 mesh. And I'm going to switch to 4 so that I can see. I'm going to move until it's extend like this, almost all the way. Doesn't matter how tall you want it to go, as long as it's not floating like this. So make sure it's not floating, just somewhere there. And the volume is somewhere. So set the key. This will be a second key. So now test. If I grab this, it will spinning plus shrinking and extend. Can you see? Here we go. So go back to 0 again. Now highlight the mesh 2. And highlight translate Y. Set the initial key. Grab the main extend, the cam extend control. Slide it up. And then select mesh number 2 here. Switch to 4 so that you can see. and slide and make sure it's not floating. Here we go. And set keyframe again. Now we're done on this part. So now if I can rotate the camera, can you see? Rotate. And then I can grab these, put back to 0, everything shrink. That's it. So I'll give you 5 minutes to, how about 10 minutes break so that you can catch up. So we're done on this section and everything follow. The next one will be more fun because we're gonna use Spy IK so that we can really animate those some kind of a, I don't know, the flexible material. So save your scene, and I'm gonna pause the video. Make sure remind me about enable video again when we after break. 10 more minutes from now. Sorry. Okay, good. Thank you. So I did forgot. Hey guys, let me repeat it again. So basically, we can assign multiple joints, like crazy number of the joints based on the section of the flexible tube. And this will give a realistic or close to semi-realistic to the deformation. But we are not going to animate each single one of these with forward kinematic. It's too much work. We use extra forward kinematic to control the inverse kinematics. So now each controller control the rotation joint of the forward joint, FK joint. And FK joint control the translation of the position of the joint, the IK joint. Can you see? So you could get really flexible shape like that. There you go. And if you notice this, can you see the camera? Stabilize it. Doesn't follow. And I'll show you how to set this up. Really easy, actually. Use constraint. We use orient constraint and point constraint separately. If you wanted to follow, here we go. I did not set this follow. Where is it? So if you want to follow, we add, somehow I didn't have it here. We add orient constraint and then we create a switch. You can switch like follow or no follow, just like what we did with the wheel. So I'm going to go back and let's get started. So once again, just to be safe, I'm going to save this scene as again. This will be number 3. Here we go. And let me change the joint size to 0.1 again. There we go. So go to side view. Side view. Let's create a joint. We can do skip one. We don't have to do every single section. So go to rigging module, skeleton, create joint once again. Set to orient joint to the workspace. No variable bone, just same size. That's it. And this time though, when you click, I like you to hold shift. Or if you like, you can hold V key so that it snaps to vertex. I'm gonna start it from, how about right here, one there. I hold V key, and then I'm gonna skip to. The second one is a little closer to the base. Here we go. Now when I hold V key, it will snap to vertex, and it will go straight line. and I just skip one. And that's it. I do not know how many did I do. Let's see. I'm gonna hold shift to expand all. I have 17 joints. Oh no, 16 joints. So, you know, you can do more, you can do less, it's fine. And we're gonna drive the skin with a smooth skinning. Now, let's shift select all of these joints and change the radial size to be 0.5, a little smaller, 0.5. So that won't be too big. How about 0.4? 0.4 seems better for me. Okay. Now we're going to rename this. We're going to call a, what should we call it? Flexible camera arm. So after you select, change this to rename right here. If you don't see it, right here, expand it, right next to the sign in. If you see triangle, it means it's collapsed. When you expand, you see like a vertical tube, something like that. And I'm gonna remove the number, and then I'm gonna add. We're gonna call cam flexible tube, something like that. Join flexible tube JNT. Here we go. I put the wrong number, put the wrong alphabet. There we go. Does it call, this is camera, oh, flex cam mesh. We should have the same name, it's okay. Okay. So, and now we're gonna add IK handle. Under skeleton, create IK handle, open up option. Oh, sorry, not IK handle, spline IK, sorry. Spline IK, where is it? Create IK spline handle. And the option, now there's an auto parent curve. Turn it off. We're gonna parent it manually. We are not going to parent the curve. The curve will be driven by a CV, a cluster. So do not do that. Now, number of the span, I think 1 is 5. We should do a little more, 5. So let's do 2. 2 will be 6, I think. Twist linear. Root, we don't really animate that. Let's do 2. Click on the base and click at the end. Now, we need to check the numbers of the CV. See how much is smooth. So right here, can you look for curve here? We're gonna have to rename them. See that curve? Turn on move to so that you can see now. Right here, the pivot point is on the workspace. If you move the curve, can you see? It will drive that joint when you move the curve. So where the curve is, well, under show, let's do none. Show curve, NURBS curve, right there. So once again, under this show menu of this viewport, turn off all none, turn on, and then check only curve. Now right click and choose control vertex. There we go. Oh, sorry. Yeah, control vertex. Now where's my vertex? Let me oh, I know what happened, guys. We need to turn on CV, NURBS CV. Here we go. See that control vertex? Oh, I was wrong. 2 is 5. So we need to do more because we want 3 set. Let's turn on join also so that we can see. This is what I want to show it to you. So basically, this is how we animate this. You know what? Actually, 2 is good because less is better. Yeah, less work. Let's do that. That's it. 2 is good. So now, we're going to add a cluster because we cannot come to the point and animate the point like this. That's not the way. We want it to be able to have something else control this CV outside of the curve. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to, under show menu, can you enable deformer? Deformer right here. So that we can see deformer when we create it. So the next thing we're going to do, this section, this point, you're going to add deformer cluster. You will see letter C. And letter C, this is how we're going to animate. We're going to translate and rotate and so on. Okay, so we're going to rotate them using join to control it. The next thing we're going to do, select, right click to curve, select the middle one here. In the future, guys, you could do more than what I did if you want more smooth. And when you use the IK, spline IK, you can create a hose. You can rig the hose, like hose that go around the machine or something like that. It's the same way. Okay, so now add another cluster. So now we have 2C. Select again. The last one will be those 2 top. Okay, and deformer cluster. Now, if I right click to this, can you see the top part? If you think about like bar or pendulum or something, the top part will carry more weight than the bottom. So it means the top part will be more flexible. The bottom close to the base will be more stiff. It's just like physics. So it's same thing as your arm. If you flap, can you see like elbow are flap less than the one that doesn't have any resistance on incoming and outgoing. So this will be perfect because on the top we'll have more flexibility. Middle will be a little less and then lesser on the bottom part. Okay. So now this section, let's add one cluster to pin to the base. So another cluster. Here we go. Now we got to name this. So the IK, let's name using this name, cam flexible tube. So the IK will be cam flexible tube IK. And then flexible tube IK curve, so that we know this is belong to IK, the curve. And once again, this curve will just floating around, doesn't belong to anything because it will be driven by cluster, internal. So now, this will be the base cluster, so name. So we're gonna call, I can call cluster 0, how about that? So that, base. So because if we put base, it's kind of long name. So let's do just that. And this will be cluster 1. And oops, we want cluster 1. There we go. And cluster 2 right there. And cluster 3. Save. All right. Now I can bring everything back. Here we go. So it looked like this. Okay. So now we're going to add forward join, FK join. So FK join, what I'm going to do, let me see. Create a joint. Same setting again. So now on this joint, I'm going to put one on the base there. One there. Oh, oops. Hey guys, we probably going to have to select somewhere else, not right on there. One click and hold shift. And then let's do average. Like will be total of 4 joins. So 1 here, 2 here, and last one there. Okay. Let me think quick. Chip flexible. Yeah, it's okay to be equal. I just thought that maybe we might have to make the base a little shorter. Let's do that. Press D, shorter to the base, and then longer to the top. Think about physics again. Okay. So now I'm gonna move these right on top. Right on top. Right there. Just focus only on the base part that can be matched. The rest of them doesn't have to. Something like that. Here we go. Okay. Then move in place. Go to font view, relocate, center, and I should have moved this. Well, I'm gonna have to, hey guys, to move this IK because I already created IK and my IK is crooked. How is that possible? I didn't pay attention on when I move, when I do a pivot point. It's a little crooked, it's okay. So I need to grab the, I can't really, man. Hey guys, I make a mistake on here. So no, we can't let that go. Okay. I apologize. Delete the IK, guys. Sorry, my bad. And delete all the curve and everything. Got to move this. Got to make it right first. Can you see it's really crooked? I think. Let me put that 0 back. Okay, we can't let this go. It has to be fixed. So we're gonna press D. Man, I can hold V key, snap. Oh, I can't snap. Sorry. Sorry guys, got to fix it. We can't let that go. If we do, the transformation of the tube will kind of either crooked or wobbling. We don't want that. I should have looked. Sorry, I just tried to get it done. I know, 16 of them. So I'm going to press D. This one can be moved all together at once. Here we go. It's not even the center yet. Here we go. Okay. Now let's check on the side. Because if it font is good, but the side is not, we're going to have to fix them. Okay. So now skeleton, spline IK handle. Sorry, do it again. One there. And click 2. Here we go. And then I'm going to name the joint. I want the same name here. Tube will be a IK handle. And then the IK curve. Okay. And then we're going to add cluster. So go to show, non-show, NURBS CV, NURBS curve, and then deformer. Right click, control vertex. Let's do the from bottom to top this time. So the first one, deformer, cluster, select, right click, control vertex. You can press G. G is repeat the command, which is the cluster. G. And then the last one will be 2 points. G. Here we go. And then, if you select from the bottom to top, you can rename them at once. Cluster. It will put the name based on your order of selection. Here we go. So now, the bottom one will be 0. So you will have 0, 1. Hey. Oh, I select curve. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. 0, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So that's correct. So now, select the joint, the new joint. Now I can show all again. The big joints right there. Select, shift select. Gonna have to rename. This one we're gonna call a FK joint. So we're gonna add cam flexible tube FK joint. FK joints. Here we go. So we better to add FK joint base BS. So that I know that's a base joint. And then you have 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. And the 3 you can call tip joint or end joint. End joint. Here we go. So we have base, end joint, and then the middle 1 and 2. Here we go. So now on the 1 and 2, these guy, the cluster on the bottom, which is cluster 0, you might need, you will have to use a outliner to select it because it's easier. So cluster number 0 will be a child of the forward, the FK base joint, parented 2. And now, Maya said, wait a minute, we need to add preservation node for the cluster. Yes. So these will eliminate a double transform. That's what it does. So we need to rename this. So I'm going to put the cluster 01 and just put that name on top of the group GP. So that we know that's belong to. Now, select the next cluster. Yep. This cluster will be a child of this guy. Here we go. And now you could actually move that join, the forward join, to be matched around there. You could. I think that might be a good choice. Let's do that. So let's do the base. Turn on move to here, press D, and then move that. So right around that location, we modify a little bit so that this part will be really stiff. Now grab the join number 2. Make sure you're on pivot point and move it so that it's matched with the C. And number 1 is just leave it there, the end join, because the end join will, it might be a good idea. Let's add one more joint. So we have 1, 2, let's add number 3. So you go to skeleton, insert join, and you click on the existing and then move like this. And I'm gonna put it right, how about there? Here we go. So this one will be named number 3. And I think it's good that we have to do this so that you know that you can add, choose insert join technique. So insert join, once again, if I do it again, you have to select the existing join and hold and then drag to insert. Okay. So, and let's say this join doesn't show the color well. So I'm gonna select that join, select the root, and go to attribute editor. Let's override the color. Under display, drawing override, and enable override and change to any color you like. Let's do yellow, because yellow doesn't really interfere with the other color of selection. So here we go. And now select the cluster number 1. Cluster number 1 will be a child of the cam flags join 1. Press P. Maya will say need to assign the preservation node. That's perfect. Just put that name on. Put that cluster name on in front of the group node and put GP. Here we go. And then another CV, another cluster number 2 will be a child of the join number 2. Press P and rename it again. GP, here we go. So that we know what belong to. And last cluster number 3 will be a child of this guy, number 3. Press P. And once again, guys, if in the future, if you don't like the way it rotated, you can adjust it by changing the location of the joint, the forward joint, the FK joint. So now, if I rotate this, here we go. Can you see the IK joint follow? See that? That's it. So now we have to add controller on top. However, we don't have enough time, so I'm gonna stop for today. Make sure you zero it out on rotation, and we will come back and do this more next section. So save, and that's all we got for now, because we got it's about less than 20 minutes, right? Let's take a break. Hold on. 10, Hey, we got almost 20 minutes. Do you guys want to do it a little more? Or maybe, hold on, that's it. Let's take a break so that it won't be too rush. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the record now and I'll check roll.